Hey y'all, decided to come on today. How are you? I've been posting a lot. I've been posting a lot in the community section, so I decided to go ahead and come on and make a video. I've been posting on Instagram. I know y'all probably like, this lady is crazy. Why she keep posting all this stuff? Well, when I get downloads or information or things that I need to share, I kind of post them so that I don't forget and I can go back and look or write them in my notes. Or I want to see who else is on the same frequency and seeing what I'm seeing. So I kind of put them out there to see how other people are thinking and if they're on the same page. A lot of times if I make a video about it, most of the comments or reaction that I get means that a lot of people are not on the same page, and so a video will be necessary. So I wanted to come on and let you guys know what the crazy, quote unquote, crazy agenda is. And I'm using the word crazy for a reason, because if you decode or if you look up the etymology of the word crazy, it doesn't mean, cuckoo or insane. It's actually, there's several different definitions for the word crazy. And the one that they are using it in a sense of is the definition that means an angle, appearing absurdly out of place or in an unlikely position. So it would also represent something that is, just out of place okay, so there you go. Also, it uses a lot of descriptive words like deranged. And so then you will go to derange and look up what derange would represent. Derange did not always mean, crazy either. It means literally move from orderly rows. So it literally means not in the order that you would expect. Okay, so we have to understand it's not the way you would expect it or in the order you would expect it, in order that you would expect something. Okay, so just remember that. So crazy is a different angle. It's a different angle. And deranged means not in the order you would expect. It doesn't mean out of order, because a lot of people think out of order means broken, which it doesn't. We use so many terms that don't mean what they're supposed to mean. This is a huge level of confusion. This is why so many people walk around confused, because when something is out of order, it doesn't mean that it's broken. It just means that it is out of the order that you are used to. Okay, so when people put out of order signs on the bathroom door, it doesn't really mean it's out of order. It means it's broke. It ain't working right. So we need to be careful on the words that we use to describe things, because that's where lost in translation, things get lost in translation. So let's take example, the Chris Brown song, Go Crazy, or the Prince song, Let's Go Crazy, Going Dummy. I forgot who did that. Who was that? Future? No. And then, there's a lot of indication behind going crazy. Going crazy is code for being at a different angle than you would be expected, an out of place angle. And we know that an angle reflects light. So it's a different angle. This angle is referred to as a type of people. Okay. These angles represent a group of people, and the groups that they represent are the groups of people that would represent one race if all the human races would mix. If that were the case, So that's why you see a lot of women in the videos, also on the Drake video, Nice for What? The Nice for What video explains it all. They are trying to put everyone the same so that there is no in order. It's all one. You wouldn't have to put anything in order if everything was absolute, just like a zero. If you have a zero and you don't have one, two, three, four, five, you don't have to put any numbers in order. All came from the zero, all will return to the zero. So instead of, fighting over, oh, one is better than two, or -1 is better than +1. I'm trying to explain it in math. There's just all the numbers combined, which is infinity and zero. Zero is the void, infinity is the unknown. The unknown is the void. So this in turn will stop time. There will be no time, because there will be no, okay, it's time for this race to rise and this race to fall. It's time for, the sun to come on this angle to give people, their advantage. And now it's time for, these people to go and, these people to thrive and rise. There'll be no more of that. They'll just be for everybody the same. Thank you, Christy. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So that is the agenda that is at hand. That's why you have a lot of people, both of all colors, dying at the same time, because as above, so below. Okay, the firmament, or the heavens, or the spirits and souls that make up the ionosphere and the heavens, these are people's souls. These are people's energies. So, it's very important at this time that a lot of different types of people are going up at the same time. That's why you're seeing the Go Crazy challenge as being outside of a car, like as if they're trying to hitch a ride to the other side with a more melanated person. Okay. So going crazy basically just means to mix into a different angle of light. And there you care about everyone on the planet, and you care about everyone becoming the same on the planet, and your agenda becomes to create true equality, you know. And a lot of people talk about the archons who dream this matrix and make this matrix, and are in control of this and this and that. Okay, so the archons realized, oh my gosh, I'm tired of the nightmares and the great dreams. I'm tired of people fighting and all this almost waking up. I just want to have an eternal blissful dream. And so then it reminded me of the song by Beyonce, Sweet Dream or Beautiful Nightmare. Either way, I don't want to wake up from you. Y'all, we already know Beyonce represents the agenda to end racism and make everything blissful as it could be. And so that is the agenda. That's the big agenda. That's all it is. That's why they're doing the Black Lives Matter thing. That's why everybody is watching Donald Trump and saying, "Oh my God, I don't want him representing me as a white person if they're Caucasian, or that I don't stand by his beliefs." They're seeing the exaggerated version of how people view society. So he's being that to push people one way, and also to expose the people who do not think the same, or who do feel that racism is the way. He's revealing, and also he's opening minds as well. It's like, I don't want to be represented. I want to do this. I want to be on the right side of history, as some people are saying. So Racism will end when there's only one race, or at least one race in this country. Now, I do believe that we all have our beauty and differences. So, for if you take examples like if you go to a different country that's predominantly one race, they don't have as many problems as like with racism. If you go to a predominantly um, you know white country, if you go to a predominantly like if you go to China or you go to Korea, everybody's the same. But if you come to America, it's a different story. So if they're trying to get America to be one group of people under one firmament or you know ionosphere, if you're trying to get America to become one and become its own type of people, then that's what it will be. I mean, I think that's what it was in the beginning. Native Americans, right? Everyone would come out being Native American because they would all be mixed and look like Native Americans because that's what they would be, Native Americans. So it doesn't matter who's killing who, because when each soul dies, when each spirit dies, it's going to go up and create the new ionosphere as a whole. So if black and white are dying at the same time, then the ionosphere will be equal because this person may hitch a ride with this person rather than, oh, y'all can't come by and all the souls in the ionosphere are black or brown, and they decide which way to reflect or how much light to let in or how much light to not let in into the earth, you see, or who to let into the heavens and who not to let into the heavens. If everybody was allowed into the ionosphere as part of the dominant, if everyone was allowed into the ionosphere or into the heavens, absorbed by the dominant, basically get out, except reversed, then there would be no more trapped souls. There would be no more trapped souls. Everybody would have representation. As above, so below. And so when things are twisted and when above is not as below, then you have the opposite effect below. That's why people always ask, why on earth is, the worst treated people on earth? Why is it the black people? Because they rule the heavens. If they rule the heavens, black and brown rule the heavens. That's why they are the most mistreated on the planet. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Thank you, Haru. Because when they reincarnate and those who know that they can't get up into the heavens. Well, if we can't get up into the heavens, then we're just going to make earth our heaven. And we're going to deny you access to certain things. So this is the solution to end time. That's why I posted that Bible verse, because I decoded it. I mean, I'm not taking it literally. I never have. It says, as long as the earth endures seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. I think that's Genesis 3:22. I don't know, something like that. That means as long as there are different types of people, there will always be a circle of ups and downs, and you will never have peace. So to end time, that's why Donald Trump running around here talking about he's going to ban TikTok because he's speaking in code. Well, I don't know. We don't know if we're going to ban TikTok or not. I'm not sure yet if we're going to ban TikTok or not. That means we don't know yet. Are y'all mixing? Or, are y'all helping, giving hitching rides when y'all died of corona? That's why he don't care about the corona, because it's the agenda. Thank you, Yasmin. Off topic, was wondering, why do you think some of the raised single moms seek to control women but aren't angry at men? This is not the right channel. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you for the donation. Please do not put off topic on my channel. If you have problems with childhood trauma, look to the future and just don't repeat it with your child. That's my best advice to anybody. Thank you, Sprinkle, sprinkle. So TikTok is definitely coded, but Donald Trump is saying, I'm ending TikTok. Maybe, maybe not. Thank you, Yasmin. Maybe, maybe not. But he's basically talking about time, because TikTok means a clock, a time, and that's how we would end time. We would only live in springtime, and this is just metaphor now. We would have springtime. Instead of day or night, we would have evening and afternoon. You can always see the sun, day or night. Y'all know the Prince song? Go Crazy. We are gathered here today to get dearly beloved. Beloved. We are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word life. It means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you there is something else. The afterworld. A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun because it's never night. Day or night. Black or white. The sun. So when you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills means never give up your frequency, if you decode it. The one that says, doctor, everything will be all right. Tell them how much of your mind is left and how much of your time is left. Because in this life, you're on your own. And if the elevator tries to break you down, go crazy. One time. So the elevator would be, if the elevator tries to break you down, that means when it's supposed to be going up and it's going down, when the powers flip, when the day becomes night, if it tries to break you down, then go crazy, which means go out of the expected order, basically go to a different angle, basically mix. That way, whether it's day or night, it don't matter. Because if everyone lived by that, it wouldn't matter. And all the souls in the heavens or in the ionosphere would see all the souls and the people on earth. Basically, this is the Tower of Babel story. And they will have like, okay, well, everybody's the same now. There's no day or night. There's just, this. So that's go crazy. And that's the agenda for America. And I see that it's really, really working, because I went out yesterday. I went to take my daughter to an aquarium, and we rode a bunch of rides and ate. And I would say at least 60 to 70% of the people that I saw were mixed couples, or had mixed children, or were, of mixed origin themselves, because we're in America. Everybody probably, and I'm in Houston. So this is one of the culturally diverse, most culturally diverse places in America. Yes. That's the lyrics from Go Crazy in the beginning. So 60% of the people were mixed or had mixed children or were a mixed couple. And I was like, wow, I haven't been out in so long. But I thought it was just, I don't know. When I would go pick up my kids from school, I see a lot of mixed children too. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. But to go to an entirely different side of town and see the same thing is showing you what's really going on, what's really happening. And so they already said by what, in 45 years that America would be mixed anyway. But that in itself would end the racism and open up equal opportunity to everyone because everyone is the same. Hollywood would no longer be, well, we can't get our movie made because Hollywood is racist, or oh, we can't make a movie about that because that's racist and or against the white supremacy agenda. Oh, if everyone is the same, they can make a movie about whatever they want. You see? And so that's why we have a lot of censorship in America, a lot of self-hate. That's why we have a lot of people who are confused and don't know, this or that, because of racism and colorism and all of that. So, right. hmm You said mixing equals death. The living dead, the afterworld, yeah, where time does not exist. That's what it would mean. You're right, in code. So that's why Drake says in his song Omerta, he says that he don't carry cash because the money is digital. Um, American Express, the debt collector, he's talking about feathers because a debt collector, um, which is money, would represent a feather in ancient Kemet, and it would be because it collects plasma. Okay, and he says American Expresser, and if you look on the American Express card, the emblem is a Trojan with a feather um, mohawk thingy in his helmet. So that's what he's talking about. The ionosphere catches plasma, and that's why his symbol is an owl because the owls are the watchers who live in the ionosphere, who hold all the knowledge, and they also have feathers, and they're representative of the ionosphere or the archons. Archons. That's why they have the same giant big alien eyes, and they're nocturnal. But that's what it all means. Yes. So if the archons, okay, let's think about this. If the archons are for one, they're not for one race or another. They're used to the loop. They're used to black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white. Okay, it's time for black people to rule. It's time for white people to rule. It's time for black people to rule. It's time for white people to rule. It's time for black people to rule. It's time for white people to rule. So instead of doing that over and over, to stop that, everybody makes them. Well, then what is it going to do? Everybody rules, everybody rules. Everybody rules, everybody rules. Nobody rules, we all rule. Right. So that's the loophole. That's what Thoth talks about in, Emerald Tablets, about the keys to time and space. So that's what that's really about. I also think that, let me see if I have any other notes. Oh, yeah. So back in the biblical days, this is what one of the agendas of some of the quote unquote other gods in the Bible. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle, Quirta. Did I say any that? Quirita, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Thank you. So in the Bible days, right, in the Bible days, they wanted to get rid of certain religions or people that were following or worshiping certain gods and goddesses because they represented this agenda as well. They represented that agenda as well. And, you know, in order for that agenda to become, they would take over whoever was in power. And they didn't want that. So the Tower of Babel was the same story. They had built this tower high into the heavens, and they were almost as powerful as the gods because they worked together and they spoke the same language as code, for they were the same. Okay. And so that's when it got destroyed or separated. And so that's why Trump Tower, I think that's why he named this thing Trump Tower. Um, and then his wife's name is Melania, like melanin. He would like Trump and Pence, the trumpet will sound. And so that's why he doesn't care about the corona. That's why he doesn't really care about what's really going on, because it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be like this. And some people are not going to be believing, or they're going to be upset about it. But these are the actual sacrifices into the heavens so that the ionosphere or the heavens can be mixed. Because usually you'll have like one group of people dying more than the other. But this, is taking everybody. So it's almost as if, it doesn't matter. And these are the sacrifices into the heavens to create as above, so below. Hmm. But remember also, since it is done by disease, it is almost, I'm not going to say 100%. It's by chance, and it's also by how well you take care of yourself and how strong you are. And it also is about what you know, if you know what's really going on. So those who don't, and those who don't take heed, and those who don't understand what's really happening, they're more likely to become the sacrifices. So let's just put it that way. It's like election year, the purge. Elect, the elect. If you read the book of Enoch, it always talks about the elect. The election year. The purge. Okay? So that is the agenda. There's going to be, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen worldwide, but I'm saying that's what's definitely happening in America and the Americas right now. And I think also in the UK, because they have a lot of different races there now. Okay, it's not happening in every place that's predominantly one race. It's only really happening to places that are very much with racial tension. Hmm. So it doesn't mean that everybody in the world will be one race. It means that we'll be like different countries that have mostly one race. Africa will have African, mostly Black. Asia will have mostly, East Asia will have mostly East Asians, and China will have mostly Chinese people. Vietnamese will have, Vietnam will have mostly Vietnamese people. Europe will probably have mostly white people. Now, South America and the Americas, they're a mix of so many different races. So they're going to be forced to mix. And like I said, the UK as well. I think France and the UK are going to be doing the same things as well. Right. This is the calm before the storm, right? Because it doesn't matter what people think, how bad they want things to change. This is what it's going to be until it is fixed. This is what it's going to be until it is fixed. So, like the old, you know how they say the old ways will have to die out? Literally. hmm Or mix. That's why you have a lot of people like um, saying certain things to make you want to be deterred from dating them. And then that's why you have certain things that are being promoted to you to suggest a mixing of a race or an interracial dating situation. You have all these TV shows. Now, we've talked about this a thousand many times, but this is the whole reason for Corona. This is the whole reason for um, everything that's happening, the Black Lives Matter. This is the whole reason for all of that. hmm And go crazy just means get yourself at a different angle, you know. And I think that's why Beyonce made, her visual album Black is King, because that's the truth right about now. And so many people got mad about that title. Well, what are you gonna do about it? Go crazy, right? I was watching basketball today. Basketball is very interesting. I don't really like sports, but I noticed the changes. You have, and you go back in the 60s and 70s, it's all white because it was segregated. Then it became all black. Now it's almost all mixed. Okay. And basketball represents the sun, who's got control of the sun and the angles of the sun. So, and especially in America, you said, "Wow, it's true." Look, go watch the NBA. Watch the NBA. You'll see. Wow. Go find footage from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s and 2020. You'll see the gradual change. Mhm. Right. I don't watch sports, but I've noticed the gradual change. I don't, yeah. Mm. So that is the American agenda. I know for the Americas. I'm not sure about every other agenda, but I know that these are the American agendas, as well as probably parts of Europe that are heavily mixed. hmm Okay. So it is the agenda so that everybody can. So basically, to end racism in those countries. That's what you got to do. Can't end something that is always going to be if it exists. There's like always going to be, if you have two teams, they're always going to want to play each other, right? Right? Or prove one is better than the other. They're always going to be like that. So unless you have the same, if there's less, I'm not ever going to say everything. Classism may not end, this may not end, but it will help with all of the after things. Like it will help with classism, it will help with poverty, it will help with all of those things. It would definitely affect all of those things, right? It'll be the after effects that would definitely show up. hmm You said, are they breeding with it? If they if they know about it, some people don't even know. Some people are doing it for the right reason, not the survival reason. Not everyone has this information, y'all. Most of the world does not have this information. So if they're mixing, I'm sure it's for maybe the right reason, or maybe just any reason besides this reason. Some people are mixing for the wrong reason. We know that. But some people are just mixing because that's what they want to do, or that's what's being pushed as an agenda. or that's what they want to do. I don't know. But either way, that's happening. The majority of the world don't know it. And think about this, y'all. If you have a country that has a certain frequency, because everyone is the same or mixed, they can up their technology. They can up their technology to a certain degree because it's not going to affect people in a certain way, you know? So that's another reason why they're also doing this, because if you live somewhere and you can't introduce technology, because some people may die, some people won't, because some people can absorb radiation better than the others, and some people, you know, are going to be like, oh, well, I can't live around this, it's causing me cancer. You know, it's holding back technology that we could be using. And that's another reason that the agenda has been put into play. So let's just say you were having a good dream, right? Say you're an archon and you're dreaming and this is your life, basically vanilla skies. I'm dreaming and this is my life. Ha ha ha. I can't, you know, I'm stuck. I just keep having the same nightmare over and over. I'm stuck. Why don't we have new technology after 2020? Why can't we go do this? Why can't we do that? Because we have to consider other people. Okay, well, why don't we just make everyone the same? Why do we got to keep going up and down with this? Why do we get to a certain point of technology and have to go backwards? You know, why do we have to go backwards? Why do we have to fall and rise and fall and rise? Why can't we just stay in this certain state until we decide when we want to fall again? Um, hmm right. So we're all returning the way we're supposed to be. So transhumanism is this. This is transhumanism. If you really think about it, the robots are just an example, because you can control a robot, you can program a robot. They can teach themselves, but they can't create. You know, so we can create though. You see, we can create, and so since we can create, yes, that's what the souls want to be reincarnated into, a creator. hmm So let's say your grandma dies and she's black, and her neighbor across the street dies and he's white, and they're all going up to the ionosphere together. Oh, hey, Bill, how you doing? Da, 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 da. You know, you forgot to pull in your trash can the other day, and I almost hit it on my way home. These are neighbors, right? That's why in the Bible they call them neighbors. When they talk about neighbors in the biblical sense, they're not talking about someone who looks like you, but someone who is a different, in a different home. A house represents a body. So they might go up into the ionosphere together as friends or bitter enemies. You know what I mean? So at this point, the pandemic, like I said, is for that very reason, to get both types of people or all types of people going up at the same time in order to create a diverse ionosphere, so that as above, so below, and we become a diverse earth. So all one. No time would exist because there's no up or down. Okay, there you go. Remember, doctors take the Hippocratic oath. Keep in mind with the word hypocrite. hmm And see, there won't be any more anything about racism because everybody will be mixed. You don't have to worry about it. Um, there'll be a whole country away, a whole continent away. You know what I'm saying? There'll be a whole continent away. You know, do I think suicide is wrong? I mean, it depends on why you do it. I don't think anything is right or wrong. I think it's your reasoning behind it, but I would not suggest doing it until you figured out is your reason for doing it a good reason. Like, why would you be doing that? Don't you have more lessons to learn? You know how they shoot a dog because it's in pain and they don't want it to suffer if it's been run over by a car or something, or people that are sick and suffering from pain, they just like, end it. I mean, that's a mercy for themselves, but I don't believe because you um, feel a certain way, if that's your frequency, you just got to bring it back up. For depression, I don't believe in it. I think it's just because your frequency is too low. People ask me if I'm Hispanic. Meanwhile, I'm black. As black, going to get through genetics. See, all of this won't matter in the future. People are just going to be American or whatever they want to call themselves. I'm American. You don't see people in Chinese talking about, you don't see Chinese people in China talking about, I'm mixed with, unless they look it. I'm mixed with white. I'm mixed with Indian. I got a little bit of that Vietnamese, some Japanese sprinkled on me. I got that indigenous. They're just Chinese, baby. You see, that's what they want America to be. Okay. It does matter. It matters every time people walk off the house and how they're treated. So that's why everybody's going to be colored the same color eventually. Right. So that's why, people are asking so many questions. These questions won't matter in the future. The questions won't even matter because they'll be, it won't matter what part of America you're from or what part of the Americas you are from. Now you might speak a different language, but you know, right. Why do you think? Now let me go into this part of the whole Beyonce Black is King. Why do you think Beyonce, knowing she looked Creole, mixed, or whatever, would go into the middle of Africa and represent all these different goddesses who, if you read about the goddesses that she's representing, you'll understand all of their sacrifices, all of their um, stories relate to the agenda as well. Okay. So all of the Oshun story relates to the agenda. So that's why she represents Oshun. Hmm. Right. It doesn't mean that the whole world will be changed. It means mostly the Americas and the countries that have heavily, you know, diverse areas that need to become one. Okay. Thank you, Melanie. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Can you break down Airs, a very deep YouTube movie? I've never watched it. I am so sorry, but thank you, Sprinkle, sprinkle. If you watch my channel long enough, you'll be able to decode it yourself. Yeah, but thank you. I appreciate it. If I don't find a movie on my own, you can tell me what it's about. If I'm interested in it, put in the comments, like the permanent comments below. Tell me about what it's about, and if I'm interested, I'll go watch it. Hmm. Everybody will be one color. Yep. So in the Americas, yes. Um, and that's what it was before they got here. Before any other color of people got here, the Americas were one color, period. And so it should return. Just saying. So if Americas got here, if America was brown, and it wasn't even called America, but if all the people were brown, that's what America was supposed to be in the first place. And so people came and decided that that's not how it was supposed to be, and they tried to kill, spread diseases. So, to get rid of a lot of the brown people that were here, and then to repopulate with their own people, bringing them ship by ship. And then as well as some people from Africa. So they brought them over and, basically took the land that wasn't theirs. So I feel since America was supposed to be brown and stay brown, that's what it's going to eventually become once again. Now, I'm not saying that the ways or the technology or all the advancements that have occurred in the Americas are going to go away. I'm just saying that America is going to absorb, I'm going to use the word absorb, everyone back into the original people that were here. And that's what it will be. Okay. Have you read about Agenda 21? No matter what color, they want to depopulate all of the world. Depopulate the world. Then what are they going to do? That makes no sense. For them, we are worth more than dead than alive. Yeah, that's why if everyone became the same, everyone would be worth the same dead or alive. Sadly, but true. Okay. What do I think about the kids locked in cages? I think it's pretty sad. Yes, of course, that's always going to be sad. I also feel that I took my daughter to this African American museum, and they had a grown man in a cage during slavery. So, I think it's terrible either way. If a grown man in slavery was locked in a cage versus a child locked in a cage, and it's probably very bad for the child. They were locking up children in cages too. So we the people in America, especially Black people, indigenous people, people that are coming through the border, they have witnessed and gone through this for a long time. This ain't new to us. We've seen it in movies. Our ancestors have seen it. It's in our DNA. So I don't think it's good at all. I think everybody needs to become one so that y'all can see how it feels to have ancestors who were locked in cages, and to see to have indigenous people's children locked in cages, to be human trafficked for crazy people who can't, who don't want the agenda to be, because they like some false sense of superiority. Thank you, high, vibrate high, sprinkle, sprinkle. So I feel that the children locked in cages have a lot of company in the spirit realm, in the ancestor realm. People locked under the boats and the bottom of the boats and the slave ships, they had similar, separated from families, abused sexually, human trafficked. Slaves were human trafficked. My ancestors were human trafficked. So I feel the same way about that as I do about them, period. That's why racism should end. Thank you, Melanie. It's on Netflix. Okay. I don't thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. That doesn't mean I'm gonna watch it, but if it look interesting, I'll watch it. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. I appreciate it. Just try to decode it the best way you can. That's why I make the videos so that y'all can learn how to decode. But if I watch it, I might, and if it's good enough for me to talk about, oh, I might do it. If it's the same old, maybe not. I don't know. Can't promise anything, but if I see it and it looks interesting, maybe. hmm Um, so that's what I feel about it. The lie. Mhm. And see, it's people think it's the race mixing is about the relationship between the men and the women. It don't matter. I said mix. I didn't say be in a lifelong relationship and hold each other hand and walk together and talk together. Mix means procreate. Period. Okay. Y'all keep getting it confused with relationships. I say mix, which means procreate. And we know people gonna do that. Crypto Alexa, you just want us to break them off? I have a theory, and I'm probably correct, that so many celebrities probably donate sperm to the sperm banks, hoping or probably putting this in certain areas where they can become mixed seeds or secretly impregnating women and having secret children. I'm pretty sure of it. I believe that. I believe it. Because see, some people have already done it. Um, just donate your sperm in a rich area. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Tell them to mix up the. They probably just for that lady that wants that mixed child. Here you go. Now give me my money. Anyway, there are right. The elite does that, right? They all do. That's because they know that they can come back through that bloodline or that DNA. So let's say they already know that the heavens or the ionosphere is going to be ruled by a mixed group of plasma. And so when they decide to reincarnate, they can come back through the mixed child instead of, you know, being um, forced to roam the earth without a body. Because if the heavens are mostly eumelanated plasma beings or souls, if the heavens are ruled by the eumelanated and they reflect the ionosphere to let in more radiation, and then there's cosmic and gamma rays coming in, and all of the people that are getting affected by it, you know, and getting ill by it, die off, and there's no more Caucasian people to be born through, then what? That's why they're mixing, because in order to keep their souls alive or their spirits alive, they have to reincarnate back through a melanated being because of the also for the advancement of technology. Also for the advancement of technology. If they say, you know what, we could have flying cars, we could make it so where people don't have to work anymore. We could have it so this. We could be in basically Wakanda, but y'all don't want to mix. We could have the best technology in the world. We could be like Atlantis. What would you do? Would you hop on that agenda, or would you say, no, I think I'd rather keep my white skin and roam the earth forever, you know, as a spirit? No, they gonna mix, baby. They said we're on board. Operation Atlantis is a go. And so that's what the huge agenda is. And it doesn't mean you have to agree with it. It doesn't mean you understand that's just what it is. Like, I'm just telling y'all what it is so that y'all can understand what time it is. And that's why so many influencers, celebrities, movies, and da 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 are putting out certain images, saying certain things, putting certain things, in your subconscious mind, so that you too are subconsciously for that same agenda. There you go. And so here's the other thing: people that don't want to be with that agenda, there are several continents and countries that are not on the same agenda because they're majority one race and racism doesn't exist there, and they're not interested in it as technology on the same level as America is. And so, you know, those places are not going to be trying to implement this agenda. And so, if you are not with that agenda, you know how there's a lot of people that are going back to certain countries and to live there. So that's your choice. That's going to be, because if the agenda is not completed, they're gonna make it happen. They're gonna make it happen, right? So after America is what the agenda is trying to get it to become, that's when the advanced technology is going to start to increase. Um, because it will be able to, they will be able to increase it. Hmm. Destiny. Okay, y'all talking to each other. But if everyone needs to have, but first everybody, yeah, in the Americas, yes. Yeah, no more black versus white. It's just going to be Americans, period. Mhm. What do I think of the NFAC black militant? I think it's to wake people. I think anything on one extreme is to wake people up, to show you what time it is. If you don't want black supremacy, if you don't want white supremacy, then what you got to do? It's basically that way. Either that's why they had Terry Crews up there. Hey, it's Mother No Shade. Hey, hey, girl, sprinkle, sprinkle. I appreciate it. That's why they have Terry Crews up there talking about black supremacy, because now people done freaked out over that. What? Black supremacy? You can't fathom, if you can't fathom a nation ran by black supremacy, then you should also be for the agenda, because that's the next flip. If this agenda doesn't go through, if the mixed agenda is not completed, it's going to be that. But then you also have to think about the black agenda, not the black agenda, but the black supremacy agenda. They have been brainwashed for centuries. We have been bombarded with all these images, self hate, da 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 da. So if black supremacy became a thing in the Americas, it would still eventually become mixed America. You know what I mean? Just like in white supremacy America and slavery, they still made mixed children. So either way, we about to slide. Thank you, Exo Goddess, sprinkle, sprinkle. And if no one wants any supremacy over them, they don't want white supremacy, and they don't want black supremacy. That's the whole agenda, to not have either. There will be no form of white or black supremacy. It will just be, just think about it. In different countries where everyone is the same, looks the same, do they have a name for what? They don't. Okay. Have you heard of Asian supremacy? We're talking about, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, Destiny. Y'all continue to talk about that. We already talked about that. Yeah. They wouldn't need to do that if they had some humility. They could have their youthful glow forever like I do. Okay. Right. I mean, it is the answer to all of our issues if you really think about it, you know. Everybody lined up to go get booties and lips. People want to not age as fast. Y'all know what y'all need for that. Everybody mix. Now, if you're not for that agenda, that's totally fine. You don't have to be. Um, and like I said, you don't have to mix if you don't want. You don't have to do anything because we still need. And if you're already in America, you already mixed anyway. You just don't realize. Like, if you go do your DNA, it's not 100% African. If you're from America, if you are born here in the states of America, and your parents were born here, and their grandparents were born here, et cetera, you're going to find out that you have some other people's DNA up in you. So you are not 100%. Therefore, you fall into the agenda already. You're already part of it. um, I think that's not the golden child. You know, I'm as wise as the old owl plus the gold child. Nas was trying to tell you the wise as the old owl plus the gold child. As above, so below. You rule the heavens and the earth, or wherever you are at the time. You rule up there as well as down here. Mm-hmm. Cryptonomics, you ain't got to do a thing. You ain't got to do a thing. You already won. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Look, you are already the result of the agenda. What happened with Nick Cannon? Y'all know I told y'all with Nick Cannon. He got that Jewish rabbi on there. And he was trying to show you, okay, well, I'm ignorant. Teach me, help me, tell me the way. You know, he basically came together with him to talk to him and to put out the information and saying, okay, you know, da 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 da. He is trying to create this race relation thing, but first he has to get the attention. That's why I didn't really jump on it right away. I was like, yeah, I know what he's doing. He's trying to get the attention so that you can understand what's really going on and that you do need melody. But I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I want to do this in a way so that we can learn together as one. That, I mean, look at who he married. He married Mariah Carey. I mean, you can't get more mixed than that. And look at his children. Thank you, Ashira Sprinkle Sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Atlantis was an advanced civilization years ago. Yes, and that could be once again in America. Um, mhm. So, what are we waiting for? Is mixing self-hate? Some kids look nothing. You don't have. You know how they say you don't have to fall. You know the movie. I mean, you know the song Brown Skin Girls. I didn't. When she says she's falling slowly. Falling slowly means mixing slowly. Okay. She's falling slowly. That means she's not going to completely mix out of her race. You could like take a dark person and mix them with a light person. Period. You could take a black person and mix them with a Hispanic person who has UMIL in it. Okay. You can take, you know, an East Indian person and mix them with a black person. That's what Trinidad look like. I saw these Trinidadians the other day. I was like, I have never seen. Okay, They were darker than the average brown skin African American. They were darker than them, but they had this straight hair. I thought that the dude had weave for a second. I was like, that's weave. Then I looked a little bit closer. Their kid had the same hair. The woman had the same hair. I'm like, wait a minute. That ain't no weave. I was really getting ready to say that this dude straight up. That's what Prince Naveen was from The Princess and the Frog or something, because we know. Um, but they were darker than the person that will consider themselves dark in America as an African American. So I was the first time I really seen dark Trinidadians up close, right in my face. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Because they look black, but then they look Indian. Like you can't tell which one is it. Is that weave? Why he got us? Did he flat iron his hair? I don't know. Is that a perm? That's what it looked like. I'm like asking myself questions, and I'm like, they're Trinidadian. Um, so right, yeah, there you go. I met a Trinidadian who looked like Michael Jackson when I was a little younger. Anyway, but I didn't realize he was Trinidadian until like later on. But he, mm-hmm. Anyway, just think of the Trinidadians, Brazilians, Central Americans, Native Americans, or the Indigenous Americans before. That's how America's gonna look again. Okay, that's how the Americas are going to look again. Period. Hmm. Cryptonomics, y'all, you're silly. I ain't trying to do nothing. Like I said, mixing does not mean you have to go what you call it extreme. You don't have to go extreme. Like think about it. When people say, "Oh, are you mixed?" You could be mixed with white and Asian or white and Hispanic. That's a mix. But what I'm saying is, you could be mixed with black and Mexican, black and Indian, black and whatever. You don't have to mix all the way out. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen anyway. Look at Sierra and Russell Wilson. You see what I'm saying? Will and Jada. There you go. Right. There's lots of combinations. Pick one. Whichever one you like. I don't know. Or don't. It doesn't even matter. Because it's already on the way. You know what I'm saying? It's already in motion. But to know about it and be conscious of it is a different story. But it's already in motion. How they're going to program you, how they're going to put stuff out, how they're going to force, certain people to do this or live in this area, how to they're just going to do it whether you like it or not. They're going to force the issues in order to create the environment to produce the result that they're trying to get. It's already just been being done. All right. Mhm. Mhm. And so now that we know the agenda, now that we don't have to be upset about what we see when they're pushing it. Like, okay, I know what they're doing. You won't get that emotional tinge that you would get not knowing. Like, like I know why they're doing that. So it just makes it easier to understand what's really going on. Hmm. Hmm. You said it wasn't a choice for our ancestors. I know, Sasha. Who you telling? But now that we are here, here's the thing. Now that we are here, and we have been put in that situation, um, we can go either way. We could go back, or we can go forward, or we could stay. It doesn't matter. It does matter, but there's nothing we can do about it but choose the path that we want to go. Because you're right, the natives didn't have a choice either. But now that it's all coming back, we have a choice. Everyone has a choice, even the people that don't want to mix. Let's say if you're a white person and you say, I'm not mixing with nobody, but only other white people. You have a choice too. You can go to Canada, you can go to different parts of Europe or whatever the whitest parts of the earth are. If you don't want to be around a bunch of brown people and your child go to school with brown people, grow up seeing brown people and want to marry a brown person, there are plenty of European countries that are dominantly white. And so, those options are still available. So not everyone has to mix. There's always free will. Yeah. Hmm. Am I saying whites are going to mix? If they want to, I told you I went out this weekend and I saw a bunch of mixed couples out there with children. It was crazy. I was like, what? Hmm. Everybody mixing, especially in Houston. I don't know about where y'all live. But like I'm saying, that's what's going to be everywhere soon. The new normal, right? The past 5 years, I've seen so many mixed couples. I know it's crazy. And it's not what I feel like, no matter what, you're gonna get a brown person out of the mix because we know what genes are dominant. So no matter what, you're going to get a mixed person out of the mix. You're gonna get a brown person out of the mix or a tan person out of the mix. Period. And their children are gonna be with their children. You're gonna have a classroom and you're gonna see, thank you, Monique, sprinkle sprinkle. You're gonna have a classroom of children who kind of look the same. Okay? There you go. You said gumbo baby, right? That's why you have a lot of reference to New Orleans and like the Drake video, the Formation video was shot in New Orleans. That's why you have a lot of New Orleans because Orleans means gold. So you're getting the new gold. This is the new gold. You know how they're always having those ancient legends. Oh, they were looking for the city of gold. The city of gold is a people. It is not literal gold. When they say, oh, the Anunnaki were mining for gold or whatever, they weren't talking about literal gold. They were talking about you melanin or brown people. They were mining for gold. They were looking for gold. They were looking for people to create the firmament with, or the ionosphere with, the souls. Thank you, Cryptonomics. You don't okay, get you some turkey. Sprinkle. You're so silly. Get you some leg meat from the turkey. There you go. Because he's not vegan. So yeah, New Orleans city girls. Come on. Drake. Nice for what? You know what nice means? Nice means meek. You know how they say the meek will inherit the earth? Da, 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 da. Well, how do you inherit something? Someone has to fall so that you, or die so that you can inherit something, right? So he's saying nice for what? We don't have to be meek. We don't have to inherit anything. We can just take, have it all. We could just be as above, so below, without rising or falling. And then in that one song about in my feelings, Kiki, do you love me? Y'all know that video? At the end, if y'all watch it to the very end, it's like, there's a lot of code in that video, but it does take place in New Orleans once again. And at the very end, the dude comes in that started the challenge, the In My Feelings challenge, and he says, and he's wearing leopard. Okay. That's why I kind of wore the shirt, because leopard represents something. Y'all saw Beyonce wearing leopard. I'm going to tell you that too. So he's wearing that leopard and he's asking Drake, it's like, do you need more time? And Drake's like, yeah. He's like, you need about 10 minutes. Is 10 minutes going to be okay? And so he said, yeah, but you got to wait outside the door. He says, okay, you sure? Okay, now it's down to 9 minutes. He goes, wait outside the door. Okay, so 10 minutes. This represents that the time here for peace is about 10 minutes. This is the Pisces Vesica, when the two cross like this and the firmament becomes mixed. Okay. And this will only last for so long until it starts to come back out. That's why they're always wearing Chanel, because that's the Chanel symbol. Okay. That's someone asked me, why are all these people wearing Chanel? What's the Chanel look? What's CC? It means Chanel. I mean, it doesn't mean Chanel. It means the cross, the crossing. The firmament is going to mix, and that is going to be what it is. And then when it mixes back out, it becomes opposites. Then back up around again. So right now we're here, right in the middle. In the Pisces Vesica, when the blue and the red start becoming the purple rain, the purple will rain. And that represents, when what's going on is going on, when everybody mixes and become one. You know how in the Bible says there'll be 1,000 years of peace. That's like, 10 minutes? There'll be 1,000 years of peace. And then whatever. The peace comes from not having racial issues. Because the entire Bible is about the race. The entire Bible is racial. That's what the whole Bible is about, race. So there was so much murder and killing in it and metaphor in it to cover up what it's really about. Mm-hmm. Gucci started to look like the double G. Yeah, they changed it. Remember, it was like the upside down G and then the other G. That was the original logo. And then they changed it to kind of look like the Chanel. Yeah, I know. Or like 2G. Right. You said we as the darker people should take full or majority control of our ethnic fraternity. Yeah, they're also saying, yeah, that's fine. That's why, you have different types of now. Oh, okay. Well, remember the agenda. In remember the agenda. They're only messing with certain people in certain places, and not all people in all places. So remember the agenda in America. Now this is the part that people don't like. Um, this is the part where everyone is targeted. Everyone is targeted. That is not part of the agenda. The people that are not part of the agenda are targeted the most. So sadly, it's to create what they're trying to create. Um, it says go watch Rihanna's anti-diary videos. Is that what it's about? Because when I watched that, it was so long ago, I don't even remember it. I need to go rewatch it. Hmm. Right. He said humans will always try to dominate each other if they look alike. Yeah, but it's not going to be a certain type of dominance. You know, um, it's going to be a less intense type of dominance. Right. Hmm. Do you feel that your life is filled with more polarized situations, making you pick between good and bad duality type stuff? I've been experiencing it extensively this quarantine. You know what? I'm good and bad. I'm both. There's no good or bad. When decisions come, I might have to do something bad to get something good. This is when duality doesn't exist anymore. I think it's like the it just depends on your agenda. What is your agenda? Are you going what are you doing the bad thing for? Is it for something good? You know? Is it really bad? Who's it bad to? Is it bad for you or is it just bad for them? It's kind of like you have to make your decision based on your agenda. That's what it is. You can't just say something is good or bad because if we did that, then we'd be living in a very bad society for everybody. Hmm. You said get at you if I want to do something bad, it will be all the way good. That's why I don't judge people but we don't know why they're doing what they're doing. Um, oh, the leopard print. I am so sorry. I was going to tell y'all what the leopard print. The goddess in Egypt, Shishat. Shishat. She was Thoth's daughter or consort. She's also, yeah, go look up her story. Okay, so it represents, okay, so in the Black is King, she also represented the goddess Ashira, who I'm after, named after, named myself after. She also represented the Ashira goddess. The part where she was standing on the block, um, and she had the hairdo that looked like a crown. She represented the Ashura goddess. And if you decode that scene where she's between between the black and the white, between night and day, she's in between. She has a star crown on her head, and above you'll see C12 and C11, and her knee and foot are pointed out towards the C11. So her braids are on the side of C11 to get you to C11, to see the 11. Now, I interpret the C11 in several ways. At first, out of my own what do you call it? Ego. I thought it was a hidden message to me because my birthday is 3/11, which 3 equals C, and she was representing the Ashura goddess. And I was like, nah, that ain't it. That would have been nice, but it ain't. I don't think Beyonce knew who I am. So then I looked up the third book in the Bible on the 11th verse, and it talks about sacrifice. Okay, go read Leviticus 3:11. Just do just do it. You'll see. Um, read Leviticus 3:11, and then right after that, it shows a room full of dark African men in that room. Go decode. Go look up who Ashura was. Ashura, what was Ashura's agenda? Like, what was the agenda of those who worshipped Ashura and Baal? What was their agenda? You know. hmm Thank you, Melanie. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you so much. Well, glad you're here. So, and then, okay, so here's another representation of Ashura. Ashura is represented by Ashura poles, Ashura trees, which is a Christmas tree, the tree of life, period. So a lot of trees up there. If you go watch her video 7-Eleven, around the Christmas tree when she's dancing up, you'll see someone trying to chop down her pole. I mean, trying to chop her down with an axe, and she like ducks because they were chopping down Ashura poles all throughout. When they were trying to get rid of all the people that worshipped Ashura, they would chop down her poles. And I took like this. If you look it up online, this is what you'll see. And so, and then also, like, if y'all didn't know, I posted like this is Ashura, and then you have her dressed the same outfit, and you have this Ashura character that's online, and you see she has the same outfit. She looks the same. See, so she's representing Ashura, and so Ashura was to create. They worshipped Ashura because she represented the tree of life instead of birth and death. So you just gotta go look deeper into all of that. I might do a whole video on that because I think it's that time. You have to be careful when you give people information because if they're not seeking it on their own and they don't already know it, when stuff comes out at the correct time when people are ready to understand it, then that's kind of when I try to put it out there because I see like how things are being given, how things are being slowly given and put out there. I think when the time is right, then the knowledge will be better received. Because timing is everything. hmm so the Ashura aspect represents um, everyone trying to become one as well. The Tower of Babel. Remember the Tower of Babel? And they struck it down because they didn't want that tower to reach the heavens. That tower is the people's souls to reach the heavens because they would rule the heavens. Okay. And there would be no more ups and downs or racism or, this and this group in slavery and this group not. Right. What does Jay-Z represent? He talks about it all through his songs, who he thinks he is. Jay-Z is very interesting. That's why he plays both sides of the chessboard. And Black is King, he's playing both sides of the chessboard. I mean, he controls everything on both sides. So, Hove, Jehovah. And it's not who you think you are, it's who you it's not who you think you are as a being. It's the information that comes along with those beings themselves. Like it's their ideas, it's their, you know, what they stand for, what they represent. It's not that they're the literal, actual reincarnation of something. It's the idea that has been reincarnated. It is the agenda that has been reincarnated. It is the knowledge of that has been passed through. So it is. It's not. Yeah. It is the energy, the message that keeps coming through over and over because it is in the DNA, in the frequency. That's why some people are attracted to certain gods and goddesses and deities because it's resonating with you. You know, if you're attracted to a certain god, goddess, deity, or whatever, you should do a lot of research into them and ask yourself, why am I, attracted to this certain deity? Why do I keep coming back to this deity or this goddess or goddess? Because it has something to do with you. That has something absolutely to do with you, and you must keep looking. You can't just ignore it. Now, a lot of religions only give you a few deities. One, you can't be resonating with some one thing um, because that's not who you are. And so you get to the African religions and the South American religions and the native religions, and you have so many different deities that you can relate to. There I am. That deity or that god or goddess is that's how I feel. These deities were put out there because they are you. They are you in a sense on the other side. They are your energy on another side. They represent you and you represent them on earth, and they represent you in the heavens, and they took those away from you. They took your connection away from you from the heavens so that when you see Beyonce dancing around looking like all these different Orisha and goddesses, that she's demonic because they took your connection from who you are. Okay. And when they hey, is that Starship?
I want cigars.
Huh?
Can I get some cigars?
Scissors? I thought you said, can you have some cigars? I'm like, no, girl, you can't smoke no cigar.
Cigars.
Sasha. So they took your connection away and how to recognize yourself and how to find strength in yourself and, how to relate to certain things via these different gods, goddesses, deities, orishas, you can see yourself in all of these aspects. And so the men too, the different gods, and they can see themselves, the masculinity in this god, the ingenuity in this god, the the genius of this god, whatever. If you only give us one deity that we're supposed to bow down to and worship, and they are nothing like us, then we ourselves get lost and lose our connection. So that's why I think that the Black is King was also a reconnecting, mechanism to people that have been severed from their own culture. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, Beyonce is exploiting, because she doesn't tour in Africa," and but a lot of the people in her videos, the dancers, the choreography, the fashion, designers, they were all Black and African. So I feel that many people don't tour Africa for certain reasons. It's not because they don't want to. Look into that. Look into that and ask yourself why. It could be for communication reasons. It could be for, different reasons. It could be for flight reasons. It could be for, so many different reasons. We don't know the truth behind that. I know they've went to Ghana and did couple of concerts last year, you know. And I did hear that they made the Disney Plus thing free for everyone in Africa or certain parts of Africa to watch it anyway. I don't know. But see, I'm not worried about that because that's the distraction. The whole point is it's a reconnection to see yourself in many different aspects so that you can understand yourself and so that you can know thyself. You can't know yourself through, I mean, especially women. Who are we supposed to look at? Oh, you're supposed to go and pray to Jesus and say, oh, Jesus, I don't see myself in Jesus. Except the sarcastic part. That's the Pisces. Except the part where he spoke in parables and codes, but still, that's it. And he himself had 12 disciples. So that, and again, that was a multi, you know, thing. It was like a pantheon. Thank you, G5 Studios, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Did MJ, oh, you trying to ask me about back in the old days? Did people give MJ the same backlash with his music video, Remember the Time? No. Thank you, the G5 Studios, Sprinkle Sprinkle. They did with Black and White, though. When Black and White video came out, at that Panther dance at the end, they gave him a bad time on that one. Because he was basically looting, tearing up stuff, bashing cars that said racist things on the windows. And he destroyed a neon sign that said Royal Arms. He destroyed that sign, which was very like, I'm going to destroy those who feel like they are in charge of this earth as well as in the heavens, because it was above and then it fell below. So, I mean, you decode the Black and White song and the video, people were more mad about that video than Remember the Time. Because I think Remember the Time, people just loved the song and the dance and the outfit. They were too focused on the greatness of MJ through that. But the only reason that he made that video is because Hollywood would not allow him to create a movie where all this, the actors that played Egyptians were Black. So he made a video instead. Because, you know who runs Hollywood. So, as great as Michael Jackson was, he was denied by MTV, Hollywood, da 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 da. All these different doors kept being closed to him, even though he is the greatest, period. Because we may run the heavens, but they run the earth, or at least the United States down here. And so that's part of the reason why this thing is happening. Thank you, Anita. Sprinkle, sprinkle. We had to put visuals to say to what she was saying in her album. Some didn't get it the first time. Yep, sprinkle, sprinkle. I got it. I've been listening to The Gift for since it came out. Listen to it every time I get in my car. At least a couple songs off of it since it came out. But thank you, Aunt Anita. Sprinkle, sprinkle. People think these are new songs. This album been out for a year. You said, see, y'all still don't get it. Cryptonomics, y'all still don't get it. Okay. If I haven't taught y'all how to decode everything, please just go decode everything. Decode people's names. Go decode. Remember I told y'all about the sacrifices? They're real. Okay? Y'all keep thinking this is gang. I don't know why y'all don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. In order to build the wall, let's just put it in Donald Trump's terms. In order to build this wall, all types of people are going to be sacrificed. Because if all types of people create the wall, the wall will be one mixed wall in the sky, the ionosphere, and the gates of heaven, the angels, the gates, whatever you want to call it, the ionosphere, the angels, gang, whatever you want to call them, are all going to be one energy, one frequency. And the people on the earth, when they all mix, they're all going to be that same frequency or a similar frequency. So when it's time to get passed through out of the border or back in or go in and out of the heavens, or when it's time for you to move on to the other side and you want to go off, you can't. You're not going to be denied, recycled with nobody to go into, or denied and recycled and put back into a body and then have to suffer on earth because they won't let certain people in. So, okay, you ain't going to let us in and we're going to make your life hell here. Period. It's not going to happen anymore because of the agenda. Yes, people are being sacrificed. We see that on every horror movie. We see it on every horror movie when the black person dies first, then so all the white people can follow. We see how it's done. And so it's the agenda, and that's what they're doing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's for a, I guess, a greater America, as Donald Trump would want to tell you. He said, make America great again. That means, what does great mean? Great means large. It doesn't mean, it means large, great. Make it a bigger frequency, as it once was before when it was indigenous. Okay. And I think many people don't realize that keywords are used for a reason. Mm-hmm. You're going to need one on season one-on-one session. Okay, I do consultations, but it's going to cost you some money. Time ain't free. Okay, so what? Yeah, so it means that great means big. The great spirit, the big spirit, the one big great spirit. That's what the natives and the indigenous people used to call their God, the great. Is it great because it's good, or is it great because it's big and all inclusive? Okay, we have to stop thinking words mean something that they don't. This is the confusion. That's why a lot of people say English is the lowest vibrating language, period. Because it is. Then we have, the great. Like when you say, how people say their grace before they eat. God is good. God is great. Okay, let's break that down. Let's get the etymology out of that. God is good. God is great. What does good mean? What does the EU and U melanin mean? It means good. Okay, what does great mean? Big, grand. The great I am, exactly. So they're telling you that right there, God is the glory. Let glory be synonymous with black. They're telling you right there who rules in the heavens. And in order to get everything, take your children back, in order to save your children, or a certain race of people that came from you, which represent your children, you either have to mix with them and they have to come back home like the prodigal son, or not. No child left behind, Bill Clinton says. Okay? No child left behind. Hillary. Now let's get into Hillary, because y'all keep asking me about Hillary and y'all keep asking about these kids. All this stuff is code. All of it is code. Okay? It's all code. They volunteered to play these roles and these parts. It is all code. Kids are code for Caucasian people. Period. Human trafficking Child trafficking are the people that cannot leave and get into the heavens, and they are recycled and reused and forced to be reborn into bodies, even though they want to get into the heavens. They want to be free. This is the code. Please understand. Stop taking stuff literally. Yeah, exactly. The Pizzagate thing. That's all what it's about. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, baby. The Tower of Babel. The gate at the top of the tower you can't get through. Okay? Y'all got to learn how to decode. Think about it. Mm-hmm. You said Pizzagate was real, or was it real enough to get your attention? Because if they really wanted to do that and get away with it, they would have. They probably do. Y'all have to be smart. There's stuff that there's stuff that they're doing that they're getting away with that you have no clue because they don't want you to know. If they don't want you to know, it ain't coming out. Believe. There will be no name for it. There will be no witnesses. There will be nothing. Okay. They'll only give you what they want to give you. The stuff that really goes down, you will not know about. Okay. Because it won't make news. No one's going to expose them. That's going to be heard on a national level. Why? Because they have that type of power. They only let you know what they want you to know because they want you to get the understanding. They want your attention. They want someone to figure out what the message really is. They can't just come out and say, hey, white people, when we die, our spirits are forced to reincarnate back on earth. We can't get into heaven. I know we told y'all white Jesus and this and that, but that was a lie. They can't come out and say that. So what do? They put all the information out there the best way they can. And they wait on someone to figure it out and decode it and tell you exactly what it means. I'm not saying that a lot of these things aren't really happening with other people or in other countries, in this country. I'm not saying that's not happening. I'm saying they're using this to get your attention because you relate to it. It hurts you, and bad news sells and gets attention. That's why they're pushing it on you so that in your subconscious mind, all of these little symbols and codes can cipher itself into your mind subliminally so that it comes through later on so that their agenda is accomplished. This is how it's done. That's just how it's done. Okay. If I can figure out Pizzagate is Leaning Tower of Pisa, and it's a tower, and it's a gate at the top that you can't get into, why would they name it that? They could have named it anything else. They could have named it Burger Gate, but they didn't. They could have named it Cake Gate, but they didn't. They could have named it Donut Gate. They didn't. Okay? Why pizza? Pisa. Why Pisa? Because it's the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Tower of Babel. Okay? That means their tower can't reach the heavens. It's leaning. It arcs. Can't get up there, right? After it gets off to the rocket, it just can't go. See, it's not a gamma ray. So, No Child Left Behind is what her husband said. Bill. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. You know, that was giving them the power first. And then he came out with We Are the World. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better day, so let's start giving. He was trying to tell people to mix back then. That's why you saw white people giving a bunch of money to Africa or to Ethiopians. They donated all that money from We Are the World to um, that charity to Ethiopia. Uh, so, and then if you look at the video, you have a group of all types of artists, white, black, the audience was mixed. I mean, the singers, yeah, the choir, whatever, was mixed. And then you have Michael leading it. Michael represents an arc, the archangel. So, I mean, it's all just. Then you had Lionel Richie. Decode that name. The sun, Leo, Lion. So it's all about that. Like, we're saving our own lives. Exactly. So this is the agenda forever. This has been the agenda forever, and that's why. That's why this is what it is. The 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 stuff around the kids is to get your attention to sink in subliminally what it really means, or to kind of figure it out. It's in your subconscious mind now, and how you feel sorry for those children is how you should feel sorry, like, for the people that they want you to have the same empathy for those children as you for the children of the earth. You see what I'm saying? The children of the earth. We are the children, exactly. So, you said MJ was annoyed on that video, right? So, how you feel about that, being caged and not able to enter into the heavens or be free, that is part of the agenda to mix. Is that why the white folks that seem to cater to a love black think how they are going to get out? I don't know. Not everybody knows this information, so if they know it subconsciously, I don't know. But not everybody knows it. Those who do know it, they may, but I don't think everyone knows this. That's why it's planted subconsciously in people's heads. They may feel a certain way and not know why, or they may gravitate towards a certain thing because they've been programmed through the media or through music or through songs or through news stories, and they don't understand why they're choosing to do certain things at certain times because it's been subliminally put into your mind from forever. So you don't know why, you just do. Because if you can't decode, you don't understand the subliminal messages you're being given. And they could surface anytime later on in the back of your mind. They could start, why a lot of people are also depressed because there's subconscious information in their mind. They know what time it is. Okay? They don't understand what time it is, but their subconscious mind knows what time it is. Right? Mm-hmm. Cryptonomics, you so silly, but yeah. So the part where Kanye says he almost killed his daughter, he was talking about the mixed child and how the heavens are run by the gods in the heavens, or the plasma, or the ionosphere, whatever you want to call it, in heaven are run by black or higher, bigger frequencies, right? He said he almost killed my daughter. His daughter is mixed, but he didn't. That's a message right there. He's trying to tell you. That's how Kim gonna get through her daughter. Okay. So that was the whole Kanye message. He ain't crazy. He crazy. He's at a different angle, you see. So Kanye ain't crazy. He's acting his role. That's why you have Let's Go Crazy Challenge, Go Dummy. Uh, you got Kanye up here acting crazy. You got CeeLo talking about he crazy. Because crazy means a different angle, an unexpected angle, one that is unexpected, one that still works. You know, you right. hmm None of these people are crazy. Believe they are acting and playing out a role. Believe me. Okay. He's too smart to be crazy. He says in one of his songs, he even said he's gonna go crazy. Go listen to the song. Power remix. It's not. They didn't play it a lot on the radio. It wasn't a major hit. It was the Power remix. Go listen to it. He already said he was going to go crazy. Thank you, Sunny Dream, Sprinkle Sprinkle. What do you think about the ultraviolet sanitizers the news is promoting and can supposedly kill COVID cold? It's cold. What does ultraviolet rays do? Ultraviolet UVB radiation, baby. What does that do? It's another code. UVB or UV is another way to say black light. Ultraviolet is another way to say black light. Like when you go buy a black light from the store and it's purple, it doesn't say UV light. It says black light because black light is UV light. Period. Everything is code. I'm trying to tell y'all, everything that they put out that they want your ears to hear and absorb on news, on TV, on gossip media, on TMZ, on music videos, it is all code for those who have ears to hear. Now, if you're watching the videos, eyes to see. And if you're a decoder, you have to come out of your emotion, point blank. You cannot decode properly if you are emotional because you won't see the bigger picture and you'll only gravitate to what you're feeling. You'll be misled or you'll be led to a certain or a different aspect of it and not the message at hand. So you got to get totally into the knowledge aspect of it. Like, well, what does this really mean? Because I don't take anything that they say personally. I don't know them personally because I don't care. They don't care about me. We don't know each other. Let me break down what they're saying and what they're doing and why they're doing it and why they're promoting and blowing this whole thing up because it means something deeper. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. And it always checks out. If y'all haven't noticed that it always checks out because that's what they're doing. Okay. What is the point to lack emotion? I feel so dry when I'm emotional. It's like a robotic. Yes, but you make better decisions. When it's time to think and think logically, that's how you have to become. When it's time to love and nurture, then you be having, whatever emotions you need at that time. But you have to know how to control them. It's not having emotions, it's controlling them. When to use them, when not to use them. If it's going to think about it, if you make all your decisions in an emotional state, that's probably why many people's lives are the way that they are because they have made so many decisions in an emotional state rather than a logical state, and they have made logical decisions, when they should have been making emotional decisions. So It's how to make your decisions based on how you can control or balance your emotions. Okay. hmm You said we should watch the series Under the Dome. Yeah, we're under a ionosphere dome, and we make up that dome. That dome is the gate. Okay. hmm The ionosphere, the gate into the heavens. You think everything celebrities do is for attention? Yes, they are trying to get your attention to put out that the agenda, the message, and the agenda. Right? They don't come up with this stuff on their own. This is the agenda. Period. When you get to a certain status of influence, you get let in on it. You go, okay, well, they're doing really good. They're becoming highly influential. Call them in for a meeting. You got to get them in on the agenda. They be doing their mouth like that. Hi, Kanye. You've done very well, Kanye. America loves you, Kanye. We need your help. You need my help? Yes. What do you need my help for? Because I ain't selling my soul and I ain't gonna do nothing nasty with y'all. No, no, no. That's not how it is. What do you need our help for? Well, we have the agenda to make this country like no other. Basically, you want to have Wakanda. They told him what Wakanda was before Wakanda was, you know, on the movies. And he said, that sounds wonderful. I'm part of it. Is Jay-Z part of it? Then I'm part of it. Is Beyonce part of it? Then I'm part of it too. You know, what's my job? What's my role? What I gotta do? Okay, Kanye, brace yourself. First, you're gonna be like very egotistical. Okay, you've been doing great so far. Then, you're gonna get with Kim. Everybody's gonna be upset, and you and Jay-Z are going to have a fake beef falling out. You're not gonna like really be mad at each other. You're gonna say some things that are code. You're gonna go crazy, basically. You're gonna go crazy. You're gonna get people's attention because it's part of this, because crazy. Then they just break it all down to him. He already understands because he wrote music. So he already knew the code and understood. And so Kanye said, fine, I do. I'm good at acting crazy. And then you're gonna go, you're gonna go on national TV and you're gonna talk about how you can't get into the industries, how you're only a rapper and that's the only thing you're allowed to do, how you can't break through the fashion gates or the fashion ceiling. You can't break through the ceiling. You can't get through to the big fashion houses. No one takes you seriously. You're just a rapper. Then you're going to start Yeezus or Yeezy. Then you're going to become a billionaire. They told him the whole plan. He already knew what it was. If you listen to his raps, he tells you before it even happens. Okay. Well, a lot of the stuff that are in his raps, he already knew was going to happen. That's why it's in there. So the people that watch and listen very closely understand what's really going on. You ever read the book Behold a Pale Horse? I assume you have, but if not, you need to peep it. Classic. A lot of stuff in it is happening now. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. You mean a nightmare? Cryptonomics? A pale horse is a nightmare. You can be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. Either way, I don't want to wake up from you. That's what it is. You say, oh my God, Kim and Kanye is Kenya. Y'all are crazy. What what was he approached before or after he said Bush don't like black people? That was his initiation. That was his way in. That was his, that was his first assignment. Kanye, when you get up there next to Mike Myers during the Hurricane Katrina, in a striped shirt. Did he have on a striped shirt? Yeah, stripes. Okay. Anyway, hmm Mike had the striped shirt on. You think? Okay, I don't remember. But anyway, yes, everyone is involved that gets the recognition and the attention. Those people are definitely putting it out on purpose. Okay. Shira, I saw someone say a child like MJ is created through high frequency. Mhm. Well, wonderful. Well, I mean, look at his parents. You gotta research his parents. Catherine Jackson, Joe Jackson. Look at their professions. Look at their namings. Go decode. Okay. Look into where Joe worked. Just go do your research. It all adds up. Look at where Joe worked when, yeah. Thank you, Rue. Decode the Tory Lanez and Meg the Stallion situation, or it was just a distraction. I didn't even read that story. See, certain people are attracted to certain stories for certain reasons. I was not attracted to that story. Thank you, Ro, though. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Um, I was never attracted to that story. I didn't care, honestly. So I only like decode things that get my attention on a higher level because that story probably wasn't for me to decode, and I don't really care. But if I looked into it, I could decode it, but I wasn't attracted to it. She got shot in the foot. I don't know. I'd have to read the whole thing and see what happened. I don't know. It's like if it's involved with police getting shot in the foot. Okay, remember things are reversing, so the foot represents the head now, or the lower self. I mean, the higher self. Um, I just have to look into it. I'm just not really into. I didn't care enough about the story actually. I mean, I heard she got shot in the foot, but that's about it. The stallion's foot. hmm She needs a new horseshoe, but so y'all are not even. See, y'all see this decoding is you have to keep up with it because it also depends on what's actually happening right now. hmm You see, she came back with purple hair, right? And I told y'all the foot means the head because we're reversing it. The foot represents the lower chakra. You got shot in the foot, you got shot in the head because we're reversed. And she came back with a purple head, purple rain. Okay. Trey, or you said Tori, the name Tori. Look up that name. Lanez. Now y'all making me do it because this is all you gotta do. This is how you decode. You just gotta know, okay, we're reversing the chakras. And in some cultures, like the Asian culture, the foot is the lower chakra. That's how it's represented when they sit in that little pose where the legs are crossed. The red is right next to the foot. So let's go. See, Tory. Outlaw, robber, gang, pursuit. Okay, so gang shot her in the head. Let's see. Lanez. Is that what it says? Like Lanez. Dang. Basically the ionosphere. Now y'all know how to decode. Y'all start decoding. Okay. Trying to look up his last name. He said Lanez. What up? Like red hair. Wait. Patronage. Okay, no, that's not what it means. Hold on. I'm reading an example of something else. I am not paying. I gotta find a free one. Hold on. Some names that it's hard to find their meaning, so you have to find a name that means the same thing. Let me spell it with an S. Lanes. You said lanes. I said Linnaeus. I wonder. Okay, sorry, y'all. A small roadway or path. No. A tree-lined country road. So it's a small lane. Path. Oh, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Also means, in French, it means wool. And it also, as a last name in French, it means narrow passageway, path, lane, very narrow, wool, occupational origin, signify a person who worked with wool. So a shepherd. So basically, Jesus in gang form. Right. Took me a second. You know how Jesus say, "I am the way, I am the path, I am the way, I'm the light." And then Tory, that name represented like someone who was like after you, in pursuit, chasing you, criminal, gang, and Jesus was an outlaw. That's why they arrested him. So basically, he was like representing the gang Jesus that shot you in the head, the Christos consciousness. There you go. So being shot in the foot is being shot in the head. Tory Lanez represented Jesus or Christ consciousness. There you go. Or the waking up, or the activation of the pineal gland, which is why when she came back on, she had purple hair. Okay. Yeah, he activated that crown chakra in code. He said Tori is 5'1", Megan is 5'1". See, they're the opposites of each other, and that's why you have to flip it. The foot is the head. And see, it's funny when you think about it. It's like, that's why I'm like, You Venus and Lucy symbolism, yeah. When you keep decoding, it's just the same story over and over and over. That's why I'm saying y'all just decode. It's the same stuff they're trying to tell you over and over. Eventually, you're going to get it. That's why I don't decode everything, because it's the same story over and over in a different way. That's what they wanted to decode, yeah. But I understand why, because if it gets attention, that means to decode it, if you're interested in that. It might not even really happen. I mean, we didn't see the foot bleeding and toe hanging off. I mean, sometimes things just are put out there to get the message out. It says, so the white people have to have black kids. Everybody got to mix. Everyone does not have to mix. Let me restate that, because people are having a hard time or in deep denial about this, because it is so sensitive. And I've done 1,000 videos probably on the same topic, maybe 100. The agenda in America is to get everyone to mix. Okay. That's number one. Number two is that in the spiritual world, when you die, if you are Caucasian, you can't get out of the dome. Let's just call it the dome, the ionosphere. So you're recycled back and you have to be reborn. And you're reborn, let's just say, through another white person. And you come back through, right? But at this time, the earth is heating up, and a lot of people are getting sick and they're dying and getting skin cancer. And there's too much radiation here for Caucasian people to survive very much longer in this type of environment. You know, they call it global warming or climate change and 5G, all that combined. They're calling it all that. Yeah, I'm still on. And so they're calling it all that. But if there's no one to reincarnate back through, then you need a DNA line to come through again. You need to be in someone's DNA line in order to come back through, if that's what you want to do. Okay. So in order to not be just a bodiless soul that is trapped in the earth for eternity, then you're going to have to get into a mix or a DNA, to where when you are wanting to reincarnate, you have someone to come back through. When all your people are going to be fading slowly, not overnight, but slowly. When if radiation decreases sperm count, your chances of being even given a chance to be recycled are very slim, to be reincarnated. So you're sitting up here waiting for two Caucasian people to mate so that you can come through on their child, but ain't no mating. There's no conception happening because of the radiation. Okay. And even if their conception does happen, it might not come to term. You see, so you'll be waiting in a long line, blah, 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 blah. So this is why people are mixing or making secret mixed children, or da, da, da. All the ex-presidents and slave owners already did it. Okay, so you got to understand. Musical beauty. Oh, y'all talking to each other. Why does it come all down to color and race? Because it does. When you die as a soul, you have a certain frequency. And just say a rocket and a plane. One can go to space, one got to stay on Earth. That's it. You have a car or a plane. One can only go on the street and the road, and one can get up in the sky. They are both forms of transportation. They can both get you from A to B, but one has more thrust and energy and power than the other due to its makeup. Okay. That's all it is. That's what it all boils down to because that's what it does. If everyone was um, the same, like if everyone was brown, that would be their way. That would be their. You know how like Beyonce keeps saying GA plane. That's the plane that can go into space and have gravity and defy gravity. You can float. So that's the one between the heavens and the earth. That's the one that can get up higher than a regular plane, almost like a rocket. You know, that's why she mentions it in her songs because it is um, the analogy or the metaphor to saying, okay, well, you've got a plane, you've got a rocket, but I got a GA plane. I'm gonna take my girls and put them all on a spaceship. Hang with Beyonce and I'll make you famous. You know what famous means? Bright and shining. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Ionosphere. Plasma. I'll get you into the heavens. You know. So that's what it all means. And it does the whole Bible, every religion speaks about race and code through the biblical stories, through all the stories. The entire religion, pantheon, everything that you've ever known spiritually boils down to race. Everything, especially if you do decoding. That's why it's only one race, the human race, right? If everyone was one race, it would have no racism and it wouldn't boil down to race ever again because it wouldn't matter. Do you think they fight over race in countries where everyone's the same race? No. So that's what they're trying to get America like. Because we have all these other countries doing all this other stuff. And if you think about it, America has a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of influence, but they can't fix their own problem. And that's what's holding them back, especially from technology. You know, exactly. They can't move forward until this is solved. All right. That's why they banned abortions or something. Yep. A whole new world, Aladdin. Exactly, Jane. Those lyrics are definitely super code. Hmm. They still have racism in countries all same race. They have caste systems. Yeah, but it's less racism. And see, the thing about America is the race was the caste system. Different races was the caste system. So mentally, if your race is the caste system and everybody is one race, they start to say, oh, we're part of the same caste system. So it's less, even though there'll still be something there like, oh, how smart someone is, how much knowledge they're privy to, how, there'll always be something, but the thing that is major will be gone. Then you can focus on the other stuff, which is easier to solve. Hmm. Yeah, Africa got to go through the same thing itself, but that's a totally different country, and they have their own. They're going through what happened in America too, but at a different time. You know, they have South Africa that just not even 10, 20 years ago got apartheid, and then you have the Christian invasion and the white Jesus invasion, and then you have the people bleaching their skin over there. You have a lot of things that they're going to have to go through as well, sadly, that we've already been through. hmm So it's always about class and wealth, never about race, right? Right. But if everyone is equal and everyone can get the same type of, money, because like think about how the money is split in America. How's the money split in America? Through race. And if all the races mix, then all the money mixes. You see? There you go. hmm You got a bad rash and swollen face last night. What that mean? I don't know. Is it still swollen? Look, I'm my doctor now. I don't know. Right. Just wish we were equal in opportunities, but get same. You can't. It just will not happen. I think they've tried that, and you see it doesn't work. It will never work. You will always choose something over the other. Always. There'll always be a bias if it's like that. Um, there'll always be the bias unless you change it. Do, 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 do. Sure. What's the plus in Disney code for plus? The cross, the crossover, the switch of the power, the cross. You said colorism is worse than racism. Yeah, that's why if everyone mixed, there will be less colorism too. hmm Where do melanated beings go back to when they get out of the matrix? Wherever they want to go, baby. Wherever they want to go. Mhm. To the cosmos. They can become a gamma ray. Do you remember that part on the Beyonce Black is King when the little child was coming back into the earth like a blue gamma ray or like a comet or like a meteor? It's like you can be spaceborn if you read like the Emerald Tablets of Soul. You become spaceborn. You become part of the cosmos. You're from the cosmos. You return to the cosmos. So that's where you go. And if you want to come back, if you want to reincarnate, you can. You know, it's at free will, just like in the Matrix. You can go in and out as you please. That's why everybody in the Matrix wore black because it's in and out as you please. Okay, that's why in a lot of videos and whatever they use like the amusement park to represent the earth because it's a vacation. It's for amusement. You can go and come as you please. Just like in the movie Us, it all started in an amusement park. That's why Michael Jackson has Neverland. It's an amusement park. Chris Brown has that video Undecided, and it's in between out and in an amusement park. So it's just that's what it is. hmm Do you think there's only one race in other dimensions? It depends on how high the dimension is. Yeah, like in Astroworld, yeah, Travis Scott. So in the higher dimensions, yes, the frequency has to be higher. Therefore, If the higher your frequency is, the more you melanin you would have. Mhm. Your ancestry is among the originals of the Americas. Yes. Well, that's what it's going to eventually return to, you know, again. And you know how we keep going in a circle? Um, and how the natives, now think about this, y'all, especially in the Americas and in ancient Kemet, how they had statues and figures that were carved, and they were planes and rocket ships and things like that. How did they see these things? Are we living in parallel dimensions where when we start to cross in the Pisces Vesica, are we going to be able to see the past, present, and future all at the same time? If time does not exist, if everyone is the same, then we will see on all, we will be able to see stuff at the same time in so-called different eras. You know, like that movie, what was that movie called? I forgot the name of it. But there was another movie kind of like that, the Alien movie, where it's called The Arrival, and that chick with the red hair had to decode what the aliens were saying. And then the alien said that we came to give you a gift, the gift of time. And everything that had happened was in the past was actually the future. Anyway, time will no longer exist, and everything that happened in the past will be in the present as well as the future. So, mhm. So to get rid of the time, do you remember the time? Okay. Do you remember when we used to have time? You know, do you remember the time? No sex in the afterlife. I don't know. I don't think you'll be thinking about it. It's more of a lower physical thing. Mm. We first met you. On the phone, you and me in Spain. Okay, I'm in ancient Egypt, but we was on the phone in Spain on a bench in the park. You and me. Makes sense to me. Right. You always want to know. Y'all like okay, think about what y'all keep asking. Can you have sex in the cosmos? You won't need to. Death, the way out, that's the way out. That's the way out. That's the Kundalini rising energy when your soul leaves your body and raises up through your spine. That's why and it goes out of your pineal gland. That's the same thing as an orgasm. That's when you die. There you go. You're reborn and shot as sperm back into the cosmos or into the ionosphere. And when you pierce the ionosphere, you just got to put back in the egg of the cosmos. And then when it's your time to reincarnate, you're gonna bust back through and come be reborn through on Earth if you want to, or somewhere else, or through something else, or whatever you gotta do. Your death is your emission into your next life. You ain't coming back here. You might not have a choice. Some people ain't got no choice. What is your prediction for the next year? More crazy stuff that you're going to have to decode. It's going to get crazier and crazier, literally and figuratively, because it's time to go crazy. And what crazy means is a different angle, an unexpected angle. It also means to derange or put in a different order. So it also represents the agenda of the Americas right now is to create the mix. And that's why you have black and white dying, you have Hispanic and everyone dying, so that when they rise up in their spirit or soul form into the ionosphere, they're all going together. The Rainbow Coalition, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the rainbow in the sky, whatever you want to call it. It's creating the mixed agenda, as above, so below. So God so promised that he will never flood the earth again. He showed a rainbow in the sky. As a promise to never destroy the earth again. There you go. You said how they died. The corona, probably. Violence, corona, violence, corona, whatever, what they were going to die of anyway, that who was going to die at that time. Skin cancer, depression, suicide. Well, however they died together. I don't know. However, people are dying, but they're all dying. It's going to be people dying of all races, not just one race. So the rainbow children, the rapture, the rainbow children. All these are code words. The Christ consciousness, the return of Jesus, all of this is code for the agenda. It's right back. Here comes the agenda again. The agenda won't stop until it's complete. Then you have the 1,000 years of peace. Okay. We feel like another strain of virus. Yeah, it's the purge. When each time someone dies, the heavens receives part of their energy. And so the heavens are going to start changing. It's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. You see? So every time someone dies, it's not in vain. They're actually creating above what we want below and getting rid of time. Right? We are in the age of Aquarius. I can't for the age of a Gemini. Ooh, what? I'm not even looking that far. Yeah, it's not about population control. It's about sacrifice. Y'all thinking it's population control? It's about sacrifice. Because as many people that are dying, there are children being born each day. You know what I'm saying? It is about the sacrifice. Yes. So let's say this many people died of corona, but how many babies were born? I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. And what kind of babies were they? They don't tell you that either. If you look it up, it'll be online though. So it's not about population control, because all these people are still, if you locked up on quarantine, how many people got pregnant in quarantine? Mm-hmm. Don't laugh, it's true. Look. How many babies born this year in the U.S.? Hey, I don't know if they'll have it for this year, probably last year. Anyway, May 20th, 2020, nearly 3.75 million births last year is only down 1%. They didn't stop much from 2018. 1% down only. Births fell among women of most races, though they rose 3% for women of Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islanders. Birth remained largely level for Hispanic women. The U.S. birth rate, which measures the number of births per 1,000 women and girls between the age of 15 and 44 in a given year, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all can read it, but basically, it says, it just goes into all the information. It's about C-sections and how many people had C-sections and regular birth, vaginal birth. And then it goes into the coronavirus. It says, basically, it only fell 1%, so people are still reproducing it, but it rose 3% in Hispanic and Pacific Islanders. So it's still, but that was in May. People got pregnant during quarantine, so I'm sure it's going to rise in 2021. Mm-hmm. Rights will become less and less justified under false pretenses. That's right, Ocean Flower. But remember, there are other countries that still have the laws, and you can always travel if you don't like the laws or the things that are being put in place due to the agenda. So remember, there's always options. Mm-hmm. Your mom is Hawaiian. She got 9 kids. Her sister had 9 kids. Oh, okay. Cool. Mm-hmm. That's why they come looking for you. If you don't find, I know. They will come to your house knocking on the door. Who lives here with you? You said COVID babies will be born just in time to claim on taxes. Y'all are silly. Hey, it's Mother No Shade. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Anyway. Us Africans are different too. What? We aren't the same people. There's 2 kids, all I want. Do I look like I want more kids? Do I look like I want more kids? I don't think we're going back on lockdown. What do you think of Africans that look down on blacks? I think they're about to go through the same thing America did in the future if they keep letting the missionaries in. That's what I think. Okay, sprinkle, sprinkle. Now I'm just saying. That's why Beyonce said, I think I might be a black Bill Gates in the making. That line ran deep. She's not talking about he ain't the richest man in the world anymore. So why would she say Bill Gates? What does Bill Gates do? What's he known for now? Where do Bill Gates be? Where he trying to go? What he trying to do? Right? That right there told you the agenda. Bill Gates is trying to do what? Where? Now, if you reverse it, if you a black Bill Gates, where are you and what are you trying to do? Exactly. All right. No, y'all, what are the vaccines doing? Y'all got to go deeper, a little bit deeper. Yes, he goes to Africa and gives vaccine, he tests, yep. What are these vaccines doing? What are the vaccines doing? Too many African women or too, what are they doing? Contains estrogens, poison, attacking the DNA. They're also what? Making mutate, kill people, alien population, infertilize. Yep, making people infertile. So I just might be a black Bill Gates in the making. Okay, now remember, every time she comes on screen, she's a goddess, or she represents something in the ionosphere. So it started off her in a red dress on top of a police car, on top of the ionosphere. And then water. Water represents the plasma, the heavens, the clouds. The police car represents the archons. Beyonce represents, because she had on the red dress in Formation video. Talk about Formation video now. And the return of the mother, the Venus, the return of the mother, and she was in New Orleans, New Gold, the golden race. The new golden race is going to top the ionosphere and sink it into a lower, and then they become. Okay, so a black Bill Gates in the making represents, okay, well, I'm going to now be in control of who's fertile and who's not fertile. I'm a frequency. I am the plasma. I am the ionosphere. I am the electromagnetic frequency. I am the radiation coming through now. You know, blah, 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 blah. I am the vaccine. I am the solution to your illness, to your problem, to your infertility. You know, so it's all about the wordplay in a lot of these lyrics. It's about the symbolism in the songs. Yes, they mean literal things that are happening, as well as spiritual, symbolic things, as well as things to come in the future. So past, present, and future all at the same time, because you have the goddesses represented, you have, the present represented that was probably created, and then you have what's to come in the future being shown. You see. So why he is doing that, nature will not allow it. I'm kidding. I don't know why he's doing that, but I don't even know if he's really doing it or if it's just part of the agenda to let you know you think he's doing it. But I don't know. If he is, then, I don't really understand what it's going to do. Like you said, nature is not going to allow it. Hmm. Vaccines to stop pregnancy and cause multiple baby pregnancies. What? That's weird. Hmm. How can we support Beyonce's agenda then? Everybody already supports the agenda unknowingly, subconsciously. So there's no need to do anything. It's already been implanted from generation to generation in your DNA, period. Hmm. So, I mean, at this point, it don't really matter. Most of the time, I decode is to know what's going on, not to change anything, not to do whatever, but just to know what's going on. So you don't walk around in fear, with anxiety, to ask you, is this the end of the world? No, you know, a lot of people are walking around thinking it's the end of the world, waiting for zombies, you know, got their canned food stacked. But all of this stuff is metaphor. And it's just a switch of power. And it's also the agenda that's at hand being orchestrated and pushed really hard right now. Okay. Hmm. Right, 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 right. But remember, the past is the future. The past is the future. Okay. That's what even Beyonce said that in the Black is King. We're coming back around to the past and it is our future. Okay. Hmm. You said we don't need to suffer, us regular folk. Um, Now, here's the thing about suffering: getting information causes less suffering. Knowing certain things causes less mental suffering and physical suffering. That's just what it will lead to. If you know something, you'll make different decisions, you know, versus if you don't know something. Like you won't go into certain fields of you won't go into certain career fields if you know something. You won't be around certain things if you know something. You won't eat certain things if you know something. You know, it's what you know that keeps you from suffering. Okay. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I do what I do. Because whoever watching my channel and they listen to me and they understand what I'm saying, they've probably avoided death so many times and we don't even realize it. You probably avoided death. But by watching me, I might have saved your life because you knew something that most people didn't know. I mean, you could tell me your story if you want in the comments, in the permanent comments, or you can put it here and there. But I think most people learned enough at least to avoid a bad situation, if not anything. Hmm. You've been in some crazy accidents. I'm sorry. Hmm. Don't. So yeah, did I hear about China being underwater and it might play a role in our food supply? That's cold. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Hmm. Food supply underwater. China. Got to get your own food now. Food is food is like used synonymously in stories for sacrifices melanin um, for something production. Did y'all watch that movie Hemlock Grove? It was like a show, not a movie. On Netflix. Was it Netflix? With the vampire dude and the scientist and the werewolf. Did y'all ever watch that show? Hemlock Grove? Okay, well, anyway. In the lab, they were creating, they took body parts of humans, right? And they made this juice or this like concoction that the vampires could drink, or the dude and his mom could drink. Representing, like, okay, so they can make something in a lab, right? They take it from humans. It's melanin. Melanin. They said we can't make no more melanin right now. We out, we underwater. We're underwater. We got a black ionosphere over us right now. They're watching us. So we cannot create any more of your fake melanin for you to digest. I am so sorry, people. You're going to just have to mix. We don't have any more food for you, vampires, over there. I'm so sorry. So China basically said, look, we ain't got no more supplements for y'all. We ain't got no more stuff y'all had us making in the lab. We don't have it anymore. We don't have it for you. You have to find it another way. Oh, I'm sorry. Did Donald Trump mess up your human trafficking at the border so y'all can't get it? Oh, well, that's just too bad. I am so sorry. Is everybody on quarantine? Ain't nobody out to kidnap hardly? Oh, I am so sorry. Can't get no. Oh, that sucks for you. So, like, there is an agenda. There is people eating people, killing people, doing experiments. You know, trying to make synthetic melanin and whatnot. There's all of that stuff. Oops, we're sorry. It must be hard out there for you now. No kids going to school? Darn. Can't kidnap them on the way home? Darn it. They're at home learning? Darn it. Oh my goodness. Nobody in the hospital because of corona? Only corona patients? Really? Can't organ harvest because, it's down right now? Yeah. My bad. Getting hard? Yeah. Cameras everywhere now? Yeah, it's kind of hard. Darn. Oh well. So yeah, that's what's kind of going on. Nobody at the club to drug and drag home? Nope. Darn it. How are we supposed to get our food? Well, maybe your children won't starve if you do the right thing. Right. Anyway. What? They're releasing all the prisoners? So there you go. Anyway, thank y'all for listening. I know a lot of the stuff I talk about may seem a little bit out there, but it always checks out. Just got to know. Now, I already know, like in about 3-4 months, somebody going to come in the comments of a new video and say, this person said this and this person said that. I said, yep, I said that a year ago. But that's because I can read the code. It's not because I'm I'm going to pretend to be psychic and tell you that I talk to aliens and stuff like that. I'm just going to tell you because I can decode. Some people will take advantage of you and tell you that they're speaking with aliens and angels. Archangel Michael gives you a message. Dear humans, from the Galactic Federation of Light, your world is going through a transformation right now. Now come over here. Look, they trying to make the ionosphere mix in the world and the USA mix so that there's no more racism and so that we can have some more technology, okay? Like a Wakanda, period. No, that didn't come from Archangel Michael. That didn't come from no aliens. That comes from learning how to decode. Okay? From the blue ray, from the gamma ray, okay? Love and light. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. So, but I can, if that's what's making them money to whatever. Do you think there will be another lockdown in the fall because of Corona? I don't think they're locking everything back down. I think it's the purge, baby. Go at your own risk. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You can't live locked down. Some people are going to stay locked down. Some people aren't. Like it's up to them. Mm-hmm. Just like where I live, they decided not to open school physically for 3 extra weeks. And they also gave us the option to still do virtual school or not. So you're always going to have a choice. There's always going to be some stuff open. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What do you think about the scene photo where Kelly is sitting on the floor while everyone else looks more graceful? I need to go back and look. And also, you got to look at the stuff around stuff too, because everything has symbols around. Australia is totally locked down. Okay. Why do we need cops and courts? We are doing well off this far without those institutions. Because there's crazy people out there. Shira, I think Game of Thrones is cold as well. I'm sure everything is cold. Yes. You don't have to think. Just know. If it's on TV, it's cold. There you go. Do you think a cosmic event will happen soon? It's already happening. We're in the middle of it. Yeah. I saw. Right. Dang, I see code everywhere, even right now. Yeah, that's because it is everywhere. There's a bunch happening as we speak, and in all realms, right? You heard some crazy sounds in the sky. Yep. Read Book of Enoch if you haven't read it. Book of Enoch. Magnetic field is weakening. Yep. They say mandatory. I say let me know when it's godatory. You can't survive another lockdown. Yes, you can. When you're on lockdown, think of all the things you could be doing. You could start a business. You could start an online business. You could read. You can exercise. You can practice whatever. You can do yoga. I mean, find something to do. Busy yourself. You don't have. They're also trying to teach you something, about going within instead of without. This is also another lesson. Go within instead of without. Your answer is within. Mhm. So many people have created so much on lockdown, and so many people have gone, you know, uh, cuckoo or astray or gotten, you know, nowhere or worse. It depends on you and what you seek to do and what your agenda is. What is your agenda for you if we do go on lockdown? What are you going to do? How are you going to make lockdown beneficial for you? That's how you have to think. Um, right. What happens when you dream on the A-list? When you dream of these A-list celebrities, decode their names and who they represent, but mostly decode their names. That's what they want. That's what it wants. That's what your brain or your subconscious mind is telling you to do, is to decode their names and think about what their names mean and if they have any significance to you. Hmm. Watch Drake's new lyric video, very symbolic of the owl in his mouth. The owl holds two keys. Yep, I'm gonna watch it. I keep seeing Nicki Minaj. Yep. Um, Decode her name too. I just got the chills. Okay, that's weird. Something is resonating with me. Hmm. I'll be outside, open a business. I speak of the cells of my body. I don't have fear. I'm living. Yeah, go outside. You're not on lockdown from the outside. You can go walk through the forest, through the fields or whatever. You can go out in your backyard. Walmart will stay open forever. So will Target. Right. The G5 studio is about psychos who will do certain things. But and 69 new song called Okay Senor. So yeah, being on lockdown can help you find yourself in a busy world or start something or do something. You hope it doesn't. I mean, I don't like being on lockdown either, but either way, I get stuff accomplished. Yes, artists see Victory of the Trinity. There you go. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yes, being in lockdown has made me realize I am freaky. Wow. New age house arrest. I'm never arrested. I can go wherever I want to go. Because I'm not, but the fear does not arrest me. You know what I'm saying? The fear doesn't arrest me. I'm out there doing what I want to do. There's places I order door. It doesn't matter to me. A lot of people are afraid and just living in fear. There's a difference. If you are living in fear and on lockdown, that's different than just being in your house. you know, it's different. You getting married after the corona now? Good for you, girl. Get the marriage. Anyway, I'm about to go. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. When in doubt, when confused, when upset, stop, drop everything, and decode. And then you'll be calm again, or you'll understand on a deeper level, or it'll all make sense. You'll be fine. People's minds are on arrest, that's right. I'm not on house arrest, too. I go whatever I want. Stop, dropping code, right? Yeah. Well, stop being so political. That's another thing. That's another advice. Stop being so opinionated and political because that closes your mind. Stop being angry when you're decoding because that closes you off from going deeper. And so you'll only get a surface reason. So I see a lot of comments talking about stuff. If you go into decoding with anger, if you go into decoding super emotional, if you already have an opinion before you decode something, you're not going to get as far as you could. That's why when you go to decode something, you have to be judgment free. If you are not judging, if you are judging, you're not going to get to the deepest level of the decode or to the level that you're even supposed to get to understand what's happening. You're going to judge the distraction in your way. That's what the distraction is for. To see if you're truly able to see. Most people get distracted and they become emotional and they can't see what's going on for real. So I just say when you go in to decode something, do not go in there with an agenda. Do not go in there with emotion. And do not go in there with a preconceived notion of what you think it means. Do the research and figure it out. Unless you already know what it means because you've done this so many times, do not go in there with preconceived notions because you will get stuck there and going in the wrong direction. Decode the information, decode the information given, not what you think of the person, not what you heard. Decode what is seen, just the information. Not the surrounding things, not how someone makes you feel, not what you think it means, just the literal information given. That's it. Doesn't matter who's giving it. What did you get the information? Did you get the information? That's all decoding is. It's not how you feel about something. It's not the political aspect of it. It is just the information. And a lot of people cannot separate them. It's hard. That's why it's so hard for people to decode because they cannot control emotion. So if you want to be a great decoder, learn symbolism, start to look up the etymology of, certain words. Look up the definition of words you think you already know the meaning to, because there are several meanings to each word. Just like the word crazy has a different meaning you probably never knew about a different angle. How something is at an unexpected angle. Okay. So look up things you think you already know because there are several meanings for one word in the vocabulary. Look up, a lot of things that you think you already know because you did not look them up in the first place. Someone told you or you learned them from a system that was not trying to wake you up. Okay? So go back and you got to relearn everything. So the next time you hear the song Go Crazy or Let's Go Crazy or whatever, you know what he's talking about now. Okay. So when you know what someone's talking about because you've taken the time to do the research to understand the true definition or another definition or the definition that is being portrayed in this particular song, you know what it means. It's not about literally going crazy. It's about let's get this from a different angle. Let's solve this problem from a different perspective. You know, let's create something totally new. That's why at the end of that Chris Brown video, Go Crazy, there was two girls, and that was the blue and the red Shakina, and they were going to merge into the purple, and they both went in, you know, and that represented the different angle and going the crazy. Crazy means a different, unexpected angle, like plot twist. Okay. Um, Plot twist. All right. Well, thank y'all. I hope that y'all found this valuable and will continue to work on doing stuff that's helping you and teaching you and helping other people figure it out too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. G5 Studio, 3 ways to tame a wild crowd for stimulus and law order. They created the crowd. Why would they want to control it? See, you gotta go deeper. You're on the political aspect, which is not real. Go deeper. Deep, 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 deep. How do you control a crowd when you've created the crowd? There was nothing to control before. You created it. Stimulus check. Okay, if you take everyone's job away, you don't want crime to increase, so you gotta pay these people. That's how you know it's an agenda. Law and order. You have to change laws up for the agenda. They don't care to control you. They can control you if they want with a commercial. Okay, all they gotta do is put out a commercial if they want to control you. Period. What they're doing is creating something in your mind, a deep thing in your mind that's going to surface later on. Okay, so y'all have to get out of the politics and get into the deeper meaning. You can't, right? They want to control the crowd. You mean the crowd they created? Okay. Well, they want to destroy racism. You mean the racism they created? I wonder why. Because of what time it is? The agenda is here now. Unexpected now. It's a different angle. Mm-hmm. Predictive programming. All right, let's stop being so analytical and be more open to see the bigger picture. Why? Keep asking yourself why, until you get to the real answer. Don't stop. Keep going. Why are they doing this though? What is the goal? Is the goal to kill everybody on earth? Oh no, that would be stupid. No, what is the absolute goal? What does America want? And how can they get there? America wants to be the top country. America wants to be Egypt. America wants to rule for 5,000 plus years. How would you do that? Not through controlling a bunch of people that don't like you, but creating a place where everyone is able to thrive and be very smart and have higher technology. Okay? You gotta get out of that low frequency thinking. Get out of it. It leads to nowhere. Follow the money. I know it sounds silly, but if you follow the money and the technology, you'll get farther. Keep your eye on the bag. Basically, what you're saying makes no sense monetarily or technologically. So erase your board and start over. hmm America is a failed state. No, it's not. It's just getting right back to where it used to be. Atlantis. You remember Atlantis song? Come back to me. Can we go all the way together? Oh, go listen to Atlantis. That's what America was. Atlantis. Think about where Atlantis is supposed to be and where all the RH negative people are on the outskirts of where Atlantis used to be. Okay? Mhm. And that's where Thoth came from and gave you all this knowledge in the first place. And that's where it's going right back. Go listen to the song Atlantis and then decode what Atlantis means. Okay? Break up the word. I'll give you a hint of at or a, TAN, land, tis. You have to break it down. A, TAN, LAN, tis. That's how you decode the word Atlantis. Okay? A, okay, that means a woman. At, however you break it down to like 3 or 4 sections. You'll see. Yeah, at, land, tis. Okay, AT, yes. LAN, yes. TIS. Sorry, I'm spelling it wrong. AT space LAN space TIS. There you go. LAN. I think I did that on a whole video. I decoded it for you. Let me see. Land. Not LAN, just LAN. Hello. I'm still, I'll be off in a second. Who's that, Sasha?
No, it's me.
No, that's Sasha. Hey, baby.
Nice.
Mm-mm.
You listen to it now.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Are you talking to me?
Mm-hmm. A network that links together within a limited area, a group of computers within a limited area, right? A LAN network. So that's when the heavens and the earth are connected as one. And then you have TIS. At high function. Tis, you're gonna have to look up the etymology using that word, TIS. I'm gonna put in tis etymology. Okay, I'll be in there a second for you. When I'm like really motivated to do this, I can do it so fast. But when I'm like on here, it's like, hi.
Can we watch a movie?
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me find out what tis means that I'm doing. What do you want to watch? Okay. Well, not tis, not like tis, but like at the end of the word. Tis, word ending. That's what I did the last time. You were watching Sasha? You saw Sasha? Okay, word that ends with tis. It's not gonna be different. I'm not trying to cheat and scramble. They brought me to some Scrabble website. Okay. Because I was on a different. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Tis, tis, tis. It keeps giving me the same old thing. I have to get the word ending. If y'all can do it real quick, because I hate doing this on my phone. I think it means of something. Yeah, the word ending. They keep taking me to the stupid tis the season. I know. It's the end of the word means of. Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. Like of. So of a connecting network, of a connected network. You're at the connected network of the heavens and to the earth. So that's what it would represent when the heavens and the earth are on one accord. That's Atlantis. When the people that rule the heavens also rule the earth. When the souls that rule the heavens also rule the earth. You know how there was a battle in the heavens and Lucifer was cast down and he had reign over the earth, but then he was locked up for 1,000 years, or freed for 1,000, I don't know, something like that. One of them stories. But basically, it's the same story. Atlantis is when the heavens and the earth were on one accord. Or if you read the story of Atlantis, it was when everybody had all this technology, knowledge, peace, philosophy, and all this, there was no this or that. So that's what it means to be connected with the heavens and the earth. That's why they say Atlantis sank. If you were as the heavens as well as the earth, Atlantis would then sink if it was on earth, because then the people that were wanting to rule heaven fell to earth. So then whatever was on the earth that was connected to the heavens fell even lower than the water. So if Atlantis is rising, then that means the people of the earth are also rising into the heavens. And so things are going kind of backwards, and Atlantis is rising back, going back to Atlantis. So Atlantis would represent connecting the heavens and the earth once again, will be on one accord and not the opposite. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm not talking about the fictional Atlantis. I'm talking about what the word means. Okay, I broke down the word. We have Atlas, Atlantis, the grid. Okay. So just decode the word. Sometimes there's distractions. If you don't understand the word meaning itself, you got to start with that first. Then you got to kind of understand what Atlantis really was, not the picture they gave you. Remember, do not think about the pictures or the stories they gave you. A lot of people are going to say, oh, Atlantis is in Greece. No. Atlantis could not exist unless it was of mixed race, period. Okay. So Atlantis, Thoth the Atlantean, or Tahuti the Atlantean, went to the land of Kim and gave his knowledge. Then he went to the Americas as Quetzalcoatl, whatever, gave that knowledge. He went to the Brown Lands. So Atlantis was a race of people that were all one. That's what, that's what they say the Rh negative bloodline may have originated as well. Because where Atlantis was, on the coast of every country that was near the Atlantic Ocean, there were Rh negative people. There's Rh negative people in Vast, in the Iberian Peninsula, the Cherokee people, and a lot of the people in the Caribbean. So that would be like all in the lower, higher part. So it would have to be this shape in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so I gotta go. I'm gonna watch something with Sasha. We'll probably decode it together. But thank y'all for listening. Bye.